Okay, welcome back. We are in day 6. What a powerhouse summit. Earlier this morning, you heard from Dr. Katie Wood, and we are going to shift gears here with an incredible human, Robin Mauro. And I want to tell you, this woman has just fascinated me since our first conversation. She is a CPA, a Kellogg MBA with more than 30 years of experience, has now shifted her focus to promoting wellness and beauty. And I know you are absolutely going to resonate with this story. We've talked a lot about fulfillment, how to recognize when you're out of alignment and you're not in the design for yourself. And Robin was brave enough to listen to that inner self. So, in this new phase of her life, she is committed to enhancing the well being, the energy, and the self assurance of others, as well as encouraging them to grow their financial resources, which is all so important. Robin, welcome.
Thank you, Kim.
My pleasure. So, I'm going to come out of the gate super strong with a heavy loaded question,
Okay.
but I want to know for our listeners, because I know and there are people listening that are just really unhappy in their current situation.
Right.
But whether it's fear, opinions of others, uncertainty, they're afraid to make that change. So, what inspired you to change careers?
It was just the reevaluation. I mean, I'll be honest, I turned 60 this year. So as I was approaching that number, um, I was reevaluating what I've been doing. And yes, I had a very successful career, but when it came right down to it, growing up, I was sort of pushed into it by my family. And it was just the route of, less resistance, let's say, rather than having to have a battle. Because originally I wanted to be a doctor. I've always wanted to help others and work with others. But as with many of us, we all have a lot of skills that we bring to the table. And I was always very good at both math and science. So I majored in accounting, like my dad. And so they couldn't argue about that. And then also went on to go to the same school he did, which happened to be at that time the top accounting school in the country. So I was blessed with a very great career, but to say that I was fully fulfilled, no. And the last 15 years I spent working as a financial consultant, and I would go into basically mostly Fortune 100 companies and solve problems, whether it was a specific project or coming in to backfill a role and then try to do some process improvement in that role. And all I didn't really get, I was good with what I did, but it wasn't truly fulfilling because all I was doing was padding the bonus checks of top executives, and was I really helping people? And
Interesting.
what's ironic is that 7 years of those 15 were spent working at pharmaceutical companies, which I just have a true aversion to pharmaceuticals in the way our medical industry has moved on to not solving the problem, band-aiding it with drugs and not getting to the root of the problem. And a lot of it is because we have a shortage of doctors, and that's because of the insurance nightmare for them. So that a doctor, in order to make it, they have to be a specialist. So these poor general practitioners are stuck, they're between a rock and a hard place, not being able to get to the bottom of it. So fast forward a little bit, I was introduced to Bella Grace back in August of 2022. I was still doing my accounting and finance consulting. And I was very intrigued because a woman that I met back at another stint in direct sales several years ago when my kids were young commented, she just made a post on Facebook. I thought I was going to need a knee replacement, and now I'm feeling great. I go, what are you doing? So she told me all about Bella Grace, and they started a company with just one product backed by amazing science, and it's all 100% plant-based, no pharmaceuticals. Now, we cannot make medical claims, but people are having really amazing experiences. So I was already at that time on a product that included collagen, because this is a collagen-based product, but it also includes 2 other ingredients that work synergistically together to solve a ton of issues. And so when you read the book, I mention what some of those issues are. So when you read my chapter, you can see and you can go down the list and see if any of those apply. And if so, reach out to me. But that said, it was interesting when I took it because I was on another college project before, like I said, and within one day of taking this elixir through Bella Grace, I immediately, my gut felt immediately better. So much of what we have in our bodies, there's so much bad stuff in our gut, and that is the foundation of a lot of health. And until you get your gut right, you're not going to get everything right. And the concept behind the beauty company was that beauty comes from within. So if you have stuff going on inside your body, no matter what you do topically, it's not going to work.
Man, truth bombs coming at you. I don't think enough people understand that gut and brain connection and how
Right.
everything is in the gut. So I'm so happy you're sharing this with us.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was right away. And then my husband went on it and I noticed a huge difference. He was only on it a couple weeks and his mobility improved drastically. I live in the Chicago area, and I don't know how many of you've been to O'Hare Airport, but it's pretty massive. And when we fly,
Huge.
we're usually at the very last gate. So it's always a hike. And he was able to navigate the airport when we were going to LA to see our daughter so much better than when we traveled that June. It was night and day. And so
Wow.
for that, I am so thankful.
If you've never been to O'Hare, I've told my husband it's like a 30-minute taxi just to get from, the runway to your gate. I'm like, am I ever getting off this plane? The taxiing is as long as the flight. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, being able to move better. And so for myself, I've had other improvements too I can share. I've had improved gum health because unfortunately in my family, we don't all have great gums. And then my eyesight has improved, which is
Ooh.
crazy. I can now read without my reading glasses comfortably, maybe not so much, but it's improved to the point where my doctor was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh man, this is
And I
good.
mean, and that's just the beginning of the testimonials that I could share because I mean, it's just my own personal experience, but there's been so many other people. I mean, obviously, the great skin, hair, and nails.
Yeah.
Um, People who've had thinning hair have had, new hair growth, just really, really good experiences.
So I want to back up a little bit because I do have a question for you. But before I ask that question, when you say in your career you felt that like unfulfilled, can you kind of tap into that and just explain some of those things that maybe our listeners need to check in with their red flag system and say, look, I know I'm unhappy. How am I sure that I'm really, really unfulfilled? I mean, when you know, but what was going through yourself, I
Well, it was
guess.
getting to the point where I just felt like I was going through the motions and I just did not have the true job satisfaction anymore. Like I felt like there has to be something more. And that's probably the whole midlife thing where I'm reevaluating what I'm doing and trying to find my true purpose. And several years back in 2007, I actually mentioned this in my chapter. A group of us here in town actually started a 501c3 corporation to help a friend who was battling cancer, which she had exhausted all traditional methods and was accepted for a trial down at MD Anderson in Houston. But the issue was that it wasn't that the trial was going to be covered, but it was all the living expenses, the travel, all that other stuff. I mean, just a lot. And so we started a 501c3 and it was crazy. I was working full time, but it was the most gratifying thing I've ever done. And we've had other fundraisers go through the organization since then. And just helping other people is really where it's at because that's why we're here. We're not here just to pad bonus checks.
That's amazing. Um, and thank you for your transparency. I think that there's a lot of people listening going, dang, like she's talking to me, and I have some misconceptions about network marketing because of other people, right? Being in my ear.
Yeah, and
So
to
I want
backtrack, I've spent some time in the space. I had a chance to take a buyout from my company when my kids were really little. So I was able to be home with them. And I actually started with Tupperware, which you think about it, it started it all. Did really well, went trips, or multiple minivans, and just, it was a great experience. But then I needed to go back to the other side of the clock to support my kids and their activities, because that's why you're doing what you're doing. And that
Yeah.
was really before the internet is what it is now. But I knew there was money to be made in network marketing. And I also knew the satisfaction of not just making money, but helping people. So, with Tupperware, I was helping people save money, organize their homes, whatever, and also build their businesses. But with Bella Grace, it's helping people feel better, look better, and also have the opportunity to build a residual income.
That's amazing.
And Bella Grace is also going global, which to me, that's my built-in travel plan in this next phase of my life.
So what has been your biggest success so far? You've been in August since August 22. We're here in 2024. What's
Yeah.
this journey look
And I
like?
took a little step back last year when both of my parents passed away. But that said, having my own business gave me the flexibility to do what I needed to do for my family. And that is what I have to share with everyone, because I don't think if I was truly doing my old career, it would have worked out the way it did. But
Sure.
that said, I think my biggest success is really from seeing some great success stories. There is one of my customers. She has lived with really bad eczema since she was a young child, and it makes you very self-conscious. And she started on the elixir, and she's no longer taking any pharmaceuticals, and she is just loving how her skin feels, and it's just boosting her self-confidence. To me, that's one of the biggest wins I could share. It's not the
Wow.
money, it's making a difference in people's lives.
That's what it's all about. So how often does one take this elixir? Is it daily?
It's a daily supplement,
Okay.
which you can get on subscription and save some money. But what's even better than that is if you refer 3 other people onto the product, you get your subscription free every month, and you just pay tax and shipping.
Yeah, and if you're taking something that's helping you, and why would you not want to share, right?
Exactly. I have not. I've never paid for my personal subscription since September 2022.
That's beautiful. So this has been a big year. I mean, your parents pass away, and I'm so sorry for everything that you've gone through. You're in this book now as a best-selling author. You've got, our ears. What are you most excited about moving forward?
Well, I'm just excited by the opportunity to work with all these amazing women on this book and just expand my network and just see where the world takes us, because we all have our own story to share.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You talked about the financial piece a little bit, helping people really secure that financial self. What would you say to the person right now who's listening and they know they want more, Robin? They know they're destined for more, but they're sitting in that space of fear.
And we've all been there. I think the beauty of a space like in network marketing, but specifically Bella Grace, excuse me, is that the support network is amazing. And you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. I know that sounds really cliche, but it's really true. And so, unlike going on following a path to be an entrepreneur and start your own company from scratch, you've got a lot of the backbone that already exists in infrastructure that you don't have to deal with. So, as a perfect example, one thing I truly detested when I was in Tupperware is that all the product would be shipped to me, and I would need to get it to the hostesses and pack it, all that other stuff. Crazy. I hired people to help me with that, but it was still an extra step.
Yeah.
Bella Grace handles all the customer service. Everything just is shipped from the factory. We don't have to do anything other than work with the people and help them.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful. So this is really it's a win-win situation. If you're looking to really get your health back, really take control of your financial situation and lock arms with someone like Robin, who has got, you've got incredible history in the corporate sector. You've got incredible history and proof in the network marketing space. This is the lady you want to talk to. This is her. And we talked about the gut a little bit. So I know that you brought with you 10 tips to decrease inflammation. And I have that link. It's literally right below this video. So do you mind telling us a little bit about that and what happens? What's the next step?
Well, if you fill it out, I will send you the PDF with all the information. but a lot of it's just simple things that you can do every day. And I'm not going to share that now. You need to click on the link and go through it. But you just don't realize how much of the way we are feeling crappy is because of the inflammation. And a lot of it is because of our diet. That's probably the biggest thing. And I think most of us know that we have so much processed food available to us. And in addition, unfortunately, the nutrients in our farmland have been really depleted such that even if we are eating organically, we're not getting the same nutrients we would have if it was 50 years ago. And unfortunately, there's no quick fix for that.
No, no. Maybe the elixir?
The elixir can help. I mean, there's definitely a lot in it. I mean, the fact that it's all plant-based, I know I mentioned collagen. It's Verisol collagen, which is the most studied collagen. The product is backed by 80 clinical trials. That also includes astaxanthin, which is an algae, and then also cat's claw. So the three things that work together to create all these amazing results. But like I said, that's our principal product. Since then, we have come out with skincare, which I cannot live without. It's only 3-step regimen, which is unheard of, and very reasonably priced and packaged beautifully. It was packaged thinking ahead for the global expansion that we're going through right now. So it was all manufactured to European standards, which are much higher than the US for cosmetic type products. And
Absolutely.
so we're planning to go to Europe later this summer. We are officially in Australia. And as of, I think, this week, officially fully in Canada where they can build businesses. Before we were only selling product. They were not able to actually have the full experience of Bella Grace.
That's very exciting. That's very exciting.
Which is crazy for a company that's truly only not a year and a half old, because I joined the company in pre-launch. It officially launched in October 2022.
That's extraordinary.
So we're, yeah, not even 2 years old.
Yeah. You know, you've been with us for 6 days. You're listening, you're hearing Robin, and you're like, dang, I know I'm destined for more. And it could be, I'm not interested right now, but I really want to get my gut health, my skin health, my brain health, my physical health, my emotional health under control.
Yeah.
This is the lady you want to have a
Yeah,
conversation.
I know. I have this little dew on my face. That's skincare in action.
It's beautiful. I was actually looking at him like she just got beautiful skin. So
Well, yeah, and I mean, and you look at pictures for me from 4 or 5 years ago, and I look younger now than I did then. So,
and that really helps your confidence level, doesn't it?
well, yeah, but I just feel better completely inside. I just can't explain it. It's just an overall feeling of well-being that I think everyone needs to experience. And there's so many people, if you were to go through all the potential supplements you might be taking, and you were to add up how much you're spending, I know I can save you money.
Oh,
and produce better results. And that's the other thing, is it's not just joining the company in Bella Grace, but saving money on your personal care. And if you're feeling better and not having to go to the doctor, that means you're not having all those medical expenses, you're not having those prescriptions and so forth.
That's why I called it a win-win. It really is. So this was incredible. And I want to thank you for taking us on that journey, not just in your chapter, but today. This was incredible. And I think you've given us a lot to think about health-wise and financial health-wise, right? Tapping into this community where you've come back to life in so many different ways. And I know someone listening right now is like, man, she is speaking my language. I need that. I want that. I'm ready for that. And if that is you, we invite you to click the link that is literally right below this video right now, fill out that form and have a conversation with Robin. Robin, thank you so much.
I can't wait to meet all of you.
Yes. All right. We will see you in the next video, friends. Thanks for sticking with us.
Thank you, Kim.